You're listening to the ESO Network, your station for all things geek.
Hey guys, and girls, and children of all ages. Welcome to episode 264 of the Rusted Robot Podcast for Sunday, October 20th, 2019.
My name is Optimus Prime.
Hello, I am C-3PO Human Cyborg Relations.
I am Locutus of Borg. Resistance is futile.
You're like a machine underneath, right? But sort of alive outside?
I'm a cybernetic organism, living tissue over a metal endoskeleton.
You're not quite, human, are you?
No, sir. I'm an android.
These aren't the droids we're looking for.
Counterfeit, facsimile, replica.
We need some sort of robot. Ah, crap! I'm some sort of robot.
What are your prime directives?
Serve the public trust, protect the innocent, uphold the law.
Hey everybody, we're right back at you just like last week and the week before that. It's Sean.
And Josh.
And Kitty.
Welcome back.
You are welcome.
It's been so long since you've been here.
Yes.
It's good to see you.
Yes. It is good to see me. Also you. You guys are also fun.
We are fun. This week's episode is brought to you by ketamine.
Special K.
Yeah, how's that working out for you anyway?
I don't take ketamine.
Oh,
nor does the Rusted Robot Podcast endorse people taking ketamine or Special K, unless it is the actual cereal.
Okay.
Oh, no, take the ketamine before you take the Special K. That stuff's
No, it's
gross.
fine, it's fine. Yeah, but it won't kill you.
Put some sugar on it.
I don't know.
Okay.
Got a lot of fiber in there.
Yeah. It keeps you alive longer. It just makes you wish you were dead.
Ah, okay. What a weird way to start the show.
People love weird. It's what they tune in for.
Yes. The Rusted Robot Podcast is the number one rated robot-related weird podcast in Northeastern Ontario.
Is that true?
It is.
Ooh.
There are no other robot-related podcasts in Northeastern Ontario.
Yeah, but we used to be all of Northern Ontario. Is there one out west now? Or being beaten?
No, it was always Northeastern Ontario.
I thought it was just Northern Ontario.
I'll find the clip that Al made for us, and I'll see if I can find it and slip it in right here.
You're listening to the Rusted Robot Podcast, the number one rated robot-related podcast in Northeastern Ontario.
And if I can't slip it in right here, I'll slip it in another time. Anyways, don't look at me like that. Let's talk about some geek stuff, Josh and Kitty.
So I recommend a medium-sized chicken. Yeah.
Why is that?
Well, they're easier to get a hold of. You get a small one, you can't wrap your hands around it. The neck's too short. If you get a large one, he'll flap his wings and get out of your hands.
Ah.
A geek, if you don't know, as described by a regular dictionary, like an English dictionary, is somebody who bites the heads off of chickens.
Is that right?
Yeah. Although occasionally it can be altered to include bats.
Bats.
Ozzy Osbourne is in fact not a geek, but was claimed to have been for a little while. He didn't actually bite the head off of a bat on stage.
Right, of course. It's just legend and myth. Well then, okay.
You're welcome.
Jeez, we missed you here on the podcast. You know where else I missed you? Last night at the Night Terrors Film Festival.
Oh, yes. Okay, so last night at the Night Terrors Film Festival, which is a midnight horror movie here in Timmins, every Friday night
in October.
And it was the original Pet Sematary.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
And you weren't there this time.
Nope.
How come?
Josh and I were celebrating Mina's first sleepover birthday party.
Oh, how did it go?
It was all right.
Good. Glad to hear
It
that.
went pretty much as expected, but sleepovers are awful for any parent.
True. I remember those.
Yes.
Yes. So yeah, you weren't at the screening of Pet Sematary. I showed up, I did the trivia with Eddie, and then I went home because I was tired. I was going to stay for the Pet Sematary movie, but
Boo!
The old man in me came out.
Are you saying boo or boo earns?
I was saying boo earns.
Okay. That's a Simpsons reference?
Yeah.
Yes, it's a Simpsons. I figured it was, but it's been a long time since I've watched The Simpsons, but...
We haven't watched it in years, but for some reason it lives in our brains.
Some of the quotes never go away. It's true.
We were raised by television, molded by it.
Mother.
Plug it in.
Oh,
And sometimes this is how we start a podcast episode. Not often, but you never know what's going to happen.
It's so full of life when I'm here.
Yes, it's always very unpredictable when you're here.
We're also starting like 4 hours late.
That's true. We normally start at 10 o'clock, and it's just after 1:30 here, so...
Because of the party.
The party delayed the recording session. As sometimes happens, you have to adjust for life, the universe, and everything. 42. That's right. Okay, so back on track, back on target. Pet Sematary, I'm sure it was great. Didn't get to see it. Next week, we have...
Did you see it before?
Yeah, like when it came out.
Did you find it was scary?
That was 30 years ago. I don't remember. Maybe a little bit, because I was 12 or 14 or whatever I was.
What movies do you find are scary now?
I will not watch paranormal movies.
Oh yeah, that's right. I keep forgetting you're afraid of ghosts.
You know what? Ghosts don't bother me so much as, like, exorcisms and demons.
Yeah, but like, what do you think you're being possessed by when you're being possessed?
You know, not necessarily a ghost. A ghost is not a demon. They're different things.
Yeah, but it's still like a spirit.
It is. And for the most part, I won't watch ghost movies either.
It's like an unseen force that can control stuff without being seen.
True.
Ghost, demon, it's all basically the same.
Angel.
Yeah, sure, angels. Yeah.
Well, I'm enjoying Lucifer on Netflix.
Yeah, Lucifer's pretty great.
And I did watch A Ghost Story. It was a movie on Netflix not too long ago. It's about a ghost who haunts a house, and different people move in, and it goes over time, and it's just a guy in a sheet. It's very low budget, and not a lot happens. And he sees another ghost, and it's.
So, is he the only ghost wearing a sheet, though?
No, the other ghost is wearing a sheet too.
That sounds amazing. I think I'd like to watch that.
Yeah, because it haunts the house where him and his lover used to live. And I can't remember what happened. Either they broke up, or she died, or he died, or no, she didn't die.
He definitely died.
He died somehow. And, well, she dies eventually, too, because it goes over, like, a long period of time. And he's just always haunting this house, just inhabiting it.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah, it was weird.
So, I am the opposite.
Oh?
I am not a fan of slasher /
murderer
killer
movies?
Gore films.
Oh, I don't like gore.
But
I'll watch a slasher film.
I'm less on the slasher, but like the gratuitous gore films and
yeah, like I won't watch, say, Hostel.
Yeah.
Or Saw.
Oh, I love Saw.
But that's because like so much of it is just based on
or like the Devil's
grossness.
Rejects or that stuff.
Yeah, well.
See, I could watch all the Saw films. That's, I guess, torture porn, really.
I feel like there's just
doesn't
not
bother me.
Enough story to some, because all they focus on is the special effects of how gross it is, right?
Yeah.
So I feel for me, not only is it gross, but also boring.
Oh.
So I just won't bother to watch it. It's like people who can't stop watching like gross videos of like cyst removals or whatever. Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't want to watch that. It's got no story and it's gross.
Yeah, so I am the opposite. I can always watch a supernatural film. Mm-hmm. Doesn't bother me.
Okay.
But the other side, nah, I don't.
I don't scare easy though.
It's not that I get scared. I don't like them.
Yeah, but I don't scare easy. A lot of people keep asking me if shows are scary, and I was just like, oh, you should watch this. It's not really scary. Like, it's a horror movie, but it's not scary. It'll be fine. And then they watch it, and then they're really scared.
And they're traumatized.
Like, why did I ruin these people?
Because your tolerance is different.
Yeah. But, like, I didn't know it was so off.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Katie's seen some things.
Like how I don't panic because everything was always on fire while I was a child.
Well, next Friday is the last showing for this month, and it's The Exorcist at 9, which I'm not looking forward to because it's The Exorcist, followed by...
That one's not scary.
I don't know.
Oh yeah, but it's a...
It's a haunting possession kind of... Yeah, no. But that's at 9, followed by midnight showing of your pick of either The First Nightmare on Elm Street or American Werewolf in London.
American Werewolf in London's actually kind of funny.
I've never seen it.
I enjoy that one, though.
Yeah?
It's real good.
That's the one I was thinking about going to see.
Go to that one.
Yeah.
One of... Because, like, that was a low budget... What was it, 80s? 70s? 80s movie?
I think it's 1981, if I remember correctly.
Oh, okay. So it was, like, early 80s.
Early.
But one of the scenes of the movie, because it's a werewolf that's after them, the monster doesn't look very dissimilar to, like, a hand puppet.
No, you're thinking The Howling Love?
No. There's a scene... somebody's stuck in, like, a cupboard or under the stairs or something.
I think you're thinking of The Howling, love.
The Howling's also pretty good. There were a lot of things where a lot of wolves look like hand puppets and stuff.
Because the American Werewolf in London won an award for the special effects.
That one is really good.
What about the silly wolf in Fright Night last week?
That was hilarious.
Wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's ridiculous.
Okay.
They are vampires, really ugly vampires.
Yeah, the effects on the makeup was horrendous.
That one poor guy, though, I don't like to be the type of person who judges people, but he was not attractive as a human either.
The main guy?
No,
Or-
the weird... They called him Evil.
Oh, yeah, the kid.
And he didn't want to be called Evil, but nobody called him anything else either, so I don't know what his name actually was.
So you're saying the actor himself is not attractive?
Yeah, that poor guy. He just has like a weasel look about him. He looks like a weasel.
Yeah. Well, last week I talked about how the female of the story wasn't very attractive either. And that was Marcy from Married with Children.
Oh, was it a different actress when she became a vampire?
I don't think so.
Okay.
But I didn't pay attention that closely at
Like,
1
you
in the
wouldn't be
morning.
able to tell because her face makeup is totally different.
Oh,
But,
yeah.
like, her hair is completely different.
It was way longer.
It's longer,
when
it's
she
not
turned.
curly anymore.
Yeah,
but,
it was
like,
weird.
It was weird. They're like, this one's a vampire, so now part of her transformation is she's got longer hair.
That's right. That's how it works. But anyway, these Night Terror Film Festival films are pretty awesome, and
Yeah, they're really fun.
And the fact that Eddie puts them on for the community is great.
Yeah, and I like midnight movies. There's something fun about getting up in the middle of the night to watch a quote-unquote scary movie.
Yeah, and a bunch of people dressed up like Stephen King characters last
Yeah.
night. So.
Our friend Sherry went as Church the cat.
Yes.
That's the cat from Pet Sematary that gets run over by a car and buried.
There
And then comes back to life.
There were quite a few Georgies.
Oh,
from,
yeah?
From it, yeah. And a couple Carries, at least 2.
Oh, yeah, that's fun.
Mm-hmm.
What's your favorite Stephen King movie?
My favorite Stephen King movie? Oh, that's a good question. I didn't know you were going to ask that. Now I can't think of any. Thanks a lot.
He's written so many.
I know. There's a lot.
Movie or TV not documentary, but miniseries as well.
Oh, we get to pick from miniseries
Yeah.
too? Because I have one for each.
I do recall The Stand being really good.
Stand was really good. Enjoyed that.
Yeah. And I like the book too, so.
My favorite miniseries is Rose Red.
Okay.
It's based on that really weird house, the Winchester Mansion, which is still standing.
But is that
at the end
Stephen
of
King?
I think so.
Oh, favorite movie would have to be Shawshank.
Really?
Yeah, that's one of the best movies ever of
My
all
favorite
time.
movie is Silver Bullet.
I love that one too. Yes.
Langoliers.
I never saw it. I missed it when it was on TV.
It was terrible, and I love it so much.
It's one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember when it came out on TV, and I'm like, oh, I got to watch that. And then my VCR didn't work, or whatever it was. I couldn't watch it. And I've never seen it. It's an airplane thing, right?
It is bad.
Mm-hmm. I've heard that. Yeah. I really liked the show that...
Yeah, it was Stephen King for Rose Red.
Okay. Remember the show,
Making
I
me
think it was
question
called
myself.
The Golden Years?
From the master of mystery, Stephen King takes you on this summer's most shocking journey.
What is wrong with my husband?
Something happened to him. When a man discovers there is something more frightening than growing old.
You don't look the way you did 2 weeks ago. You look the way you did 2 years ago.
Growing young. I could disappear without a trace.
Who's gonna help us?
Stephen King's masterful thriller, Golden Years, premieres Tuesday.
Golden Girls?
No, The Golden Years.
No, I don't think I've seen that.
It was a short-lived show that based on his work. This has got to be 15, 20 years ago. I can't remember too much about it other than I think people were de-aging or there was something weird going on, and they had stolen a hearse and painted it fluorescent orange. And that's all I can remember from the show.
Not a clue.
No, it was called The Golden Years.
Okay.
It was weird, but that's all I can remember from that long ago.
I highly recommend the two that I said.
Okay.
I'm going to have to watch your weird orange hearse show.
Yeah, you can probably find it on YouTube or something, maybe. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. I don't know.
Probably.
Nobody-
Everything's on YouTube.
Everything's on YouTube. So what should we talk about next?
Well, there's that horror trailer that we saw.
Oh yeah. Well, we'll talk about trailers in the trailer section.
Oh, okay. It's just because it's related.
Oh, we could do that. Should we do that?
Yeah, we'll do that.
We'll mix it.
We can switch over to trailers now.
We can mix up our routine, our format. We can do that. We can do whatever we want.
Yes.
Just because it's our show, we can just.
Yes, and our segments are real loose.
That is true.
Like real loose.
Correct.
Wrinkly.
Yes. Okay, well, let's play the trailer right here then for the upcoming horror film, The Turning.
Have you ever been a nanny?
This is my first live-in job.
Well, I hope you know what you're doing. The children are very special, Kate. They're thoroughbreds.
Geez, your friends must love it here.
I have no friends.
You have no friends?
Yep.
Well, you have one now.
Maybe.
May I ask how the parents died?
Well.
Miles?
Nothing should have to suffer. It's not that simple.
I don't go in that part of the house.
Why not?
Don't want to.
Hello?
We shouldn't be in here.
What happened to your last nanny?
Like I'd tell.
You need to take charge here, Kate. I know what you're afraid of. Keeping the lights on won't keep you safe.
Can you please stop?
You're gonna leave me, aren't you?
I'm not going anywhere.
Promise, promise?
Cross my heart and hope to die.
Everyone dies, Miles.
Did you see them? I don't want to play anymore. Hey! Why are you doing this?
Stop now.
We're not safe!
Stop telling tales.
Bad dreams?
So that looks creepy.
A little bit, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. She's a nanny.
Anytime you got kids in a horror film,
Yeah.
that's the scariest.
I agree.
I like that it's in a big old mansion.
You know what's one of the scariest things, one of the scariest sounds you can hear? A child laughing in the darkness of an abandoned house.
Especially when you don't have children.
Have you heard that often?
I've heard that before, yeah.
Huh, that's creepy.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I've been out in the middle of the woods in the dark and heard child laughing.
Oh, that's...
Sometimes it's Mina, because she likes being in the dark and she does laugh in weird situations. In the old Jump City, she used to go down into the basement, which looked like a horror movie, and most adult people would not go down there.
Correct.
But she used to enjoy going down there, and she had a little Disney fairies lantern that she would bring with her. And then she put it down in the middle of the floor in the basement, and then she'd walk away from it and laugh and say, "Oh, it's so dark down here, ha 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 ha." And then eventually she'd come running back from the darkness. But that's also very upsetting to see like a very small person, like maybe 2 feet or less, running at you from the darkness.
And she would have been 4 or 5 back then.
She was like 3.
Yeah. Okay. We'll get back to that in a moment. What do we think about The Turning? It's scary. It's got kids. It's got a nanny. It's got a big creepy mansion. There's something going on in the dark all the time.
The kid from Stranger Things is in it.
Oh, is that the boy?
Yeah, it's the boy.
I think it's gonna be scary. I think it's gonna be good.
Okay. What do you think the story is? What's happening?
No idea.
Not a clue. It's hard to tell, right?
Yeah.
I think that's part of the suspense of it. If they tell you what's happening, then you'll know. Part of the fun for horror movies is that you don't know what's happening.
Do you think it's real horror, or is it just in her mind?
It's probably
That's horror
real
too.
horror.
That's psychological horror.
Yeah, I know. But what do you think this one is? That's what I'm asking.
We don't know.
You have no idea from the
We
trailer?
have no idea.
You can't tell?
No.
Okay.
Because all those sequences could have been real things happening to her. Like the spider coming out of her mouth. That was creepy.
Yes.
That could have been a dream sequence. That could have been real. That could have been a psychic projection into her mind.
Could have been her thinking it was a good idea to reenact a Billie Eilish commercial.
A what commercial?
She's a singer. She likes to have spiders inside her mouth.
Oh, okay.
Listeners will probably know who they are.
What was her name?
Billie Eilish.
Billie Eilish.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. Okay, so this comes out early next year by the looks of it.
Yeah.
Are we going to go see it in the theater?
So,
I would.
I got a thing. I don't watch most horror films in the theater.
Oh, how come?
I prefer watching horror films at home.
In the dark.
In the dark.
Late at night.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless it's a zombie movie.
Love going to see zombie films in the theater.
And that's pretty important.
He also likes walking home, even though it's terrifying because part of the whole zombie thing is that you're in unknown territory, and there's people you don't know around.
Yeah.
So even like other human people that are not zombies are scary because they're often raiders.
Well, people are often scary just on their own too.
Yeah.
So.
But horror movies often take place in your own home.
Right.
So they're kind of more fun to watch at home.
True.
Where if you put your feet down on the ground, there's going to be a hand that comes out and grabs you.
Never put your feet down on the ground. Keep them on the couch.
Yeah, you stay on the couch and you live there until the next morning.
That's right. And as long as you're under the covers, you're safe.
Yeah.
Yes. So earlier, you mentioned Mina going down to the basement of Jump City.
Yeah.
The old Jump City.
Yeah, we moved from our old location at 229 Pine Street North to 38 Pine Street.
What is this a house? Is this a town? It's a city of some kind? What the heck is a Jump City?
Oh, it is a comic book and collectibles store.
What?
It is probably the coolest and best store in Timmins, Ontario.
Oh. How do you know this?
Oh, well, my sister and I are the two owners.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow, that is cool.
Timmins is lucky to have us and to be graced with our presence.
Clearly.
Hi, this is Cena Grace, writer and artist for Burn the Orphanage, and you are listening to the Rusted Robot Podcast. I hope you're having fun.
Alright, so I have to vanish. There's an emergency at the mall.
Oh, at the mall that Jump City is in?
Precisely. You can find it at 38 Pine Street South, Timmins, Ontario, Canada.
Ah, very cool.
North. Why did I say south? Because you switched it earlier.
No, she said north.
Oh, no, yeah, that's right. We used to be on the south side. Now we're on the north side.
So you have to go take care of alarms and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Kitty and I will finish the podcast without you.
Yep. Unfortunately.
All right.
All right. Good luck, all.
Have fun.
We'll call it that.
Okay. All right. So I don't know if you and I have ever done a podcast by ourselves.
I don't think so. I think we might have done part of a podcast before.
Just
like this.
Like we're doing now.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Now that Josh is gone, we can have some real fun on the podcast.
Ooh.
Let's talk about some casting news.
Casting news?
Yeah, you like when you find out people are cast in different films, don't you?
I like to pretend that I know who people are.
Did you watch the first Venom film last year with Tom Hardy?
I did.
What did you think?
I thought it was fun.
It was alright, eh?
I think for a movie that had Venom and didn't have it connected to Spider-Man, even though that's Venom's origin story from the comics.
Yeah.
They did a pretty good job. It was entertaining.
Yeah, it was fine.
Yeah.
A little bit of a CGI fest, but other than that...
What's not a CGI fest now?
Well, that's true. You got me there. Okay, well, I got some casting news for the film. And it says here that Lord of the Rings actor Andy Serkis will helm Venom 2 with Tom Hardy this fall. And today we hear that Naomie Harris will play Carnage's romantic interest and Venom villain Shriek in the new film. Shriek was first introduced in 1993 during the Maximum Carnage storyline. You must know that because you own a comic book shop. Did you know that?
I don't think I bothered to know that, though. No.
Okay, well...
I did follow Spider-Man when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it was well before Venom was ever a thing.
Could be. Okay. Well, Shriek is described as the sonic-powered accomplice and romantic interest of serial killer Cletus Cassidy, a.k.a. Carnage, the monstrous arch-enemy of Venom. A drug dealer named Frances Barrison became the volatile Shriek after severe trauma allowed her latent mutant powers to emerge. In the comics, those powers include sonic energy blasts, flight, and the ability to stir up dark and violent emotions in others.
Do you think they're going to leave her basically the same... Because Venom's very close to being the same type of guy.
Mm-hmm.
Except for his raging hate of Spider-Man because he doesn't exist.
Right.
But, he's still close enough that you know who Spider-Man is.
Well, of course.
Or, sorry, not Spider-Man. Venom is.
Well, yeah, that's what you meant, yes.
Do you think they're going to bring in Carnage?
Well, that's a possibility.
Do you think they're going to leave him as a serial killer?
Because at the end of Venom, he was in prison, and he was played by Woody Harrelson.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Right? So they did tease it.
They did tease it.
So if the girlfriend
and he
is
a serial killer.
Yeah.
That seems really odd.
Mm-hmm. But if the girlfriend is just being cast, and we already know Woody Harrelson is Carnage, then yeah, I'm sure Woody will be in the film, and we'll have a Venom versus Carnage film.
I really like Woody Harrelson.
Harrelson?
Blah,
That guy there.
Mm.
Yeah.
He's fun.
Should be a fun film.
It should be fun. I'm glad he's doing interesting things now. He's come a long way from Cheers.
Yes, that is true. That's a long time ago.
It is a long time ago, but that's where I know him from originally. But he's been in a lot of other stuff. I really like him in Zombieland.
And Zombieland 2 just came out this weekend.
Did it?
Yes.
I saw a trailer for it, but I haven't watched it yet.
No, me neither, but it looks really good.
I like the first one a lot. I'm sure I'll like the second one.
I think so. Gotta watch that soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got some more casting news.
More?
And this was all over the interwebs this week, and you probably saw it as well. Zoe Kravitz to play Catwoman in Matt Reeves' The Batman.
Oh, actually, I did see a thing about that.
Yeah. So it says here in the article, Matt Reeves continues to put together his cast for The Batman, and it's been reported that Zoe Kravitz from Fantastic Beasts has been tapped to play Catwoman. This actually wouldn't be Zoe Kravitz's first time playing Catwoman, as she also lent her voice to the character in the Lego Batman movie. So that's kind of a cool thing.
Mm-hmm.
And what else does it say
I
here?
love Lego Batman. They do a good job.
Oh, and then it just, yeah, they do. And it just goes over how many actresses have played Catwoman, including Julie Newmar, Lee Merriweather, Eartha Kitt, Michelle Pfeiffer, Halle Berry, Anne Hathaway, Cameron Bikondova, and Lily Simmons.
Do you have a favorite Catwoman?
I don't think I do.
Josh has a favorite Catwoman.
Yeah?
It's Eartha Kitt.
Really?
He says that if a cat could talk, it would sound like her.
Huh.
He's probably right.
Yeah.
She has like a purr in her talk.
Yeah, kind of. I think you're right. So for casting of this here, it says, of course, Robert Pattinson from Twilight will play Batman. Jeffrey Wright has been cast to play Commissioner Gordon, and Jonah Hill is set to be up for the role of Penguin or the Riddler. But I think they just...
I'd really like that, actually. It's going to be good. It's going to be funny. Like, I think they're going to play it in a serious way, but to me it will be hilarious to watch.
I think so, too.
Just like...
And Matt Reeves, he's a great director. Like, he did the recent Planet of the Apes films.
Yes, that's right.
And he did, Let Me In or Let the Right One In or the remake?
Yeah, Let Me In and Let the Right One In are both things.
Yeah, because one was a remake of the other. Or,
no, one's the sequel.
What isn't one from Sweden or something, and the other one's the American version?
I think one's a sequel.
Maybe. I don't know my Matt Reeves details. But
I think Let Me In is the first one, and then there's Let the Right One In, and they're vampire movies.
I believe so. I saw the American one, and
yeah.
Who the heck was the actress in that? Was it Hit Girl? Was it her? Or
I don't know. You know, it's based on a comic.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Really? Well, you know what?
It's a lot of things that are based on comics.
Let Me In is from 2010, actually. And a bullied young boy befriends a young female vampire who lives in secrecy with her guardian. And yes, it's Chloe Grace Moretz who was Hit Girl.
Yeah.
In, why can't I think of the name of that film?
Kick-Ass.
Yes, that's the one right there. That's right.
It took me a moment.
Yes.
I had a brain fart.
Yeah, that happens.
Mm.
Yep. So that was a good film. I liked it. And
It looks really good. I actually never got the chance to watch it.
Oh, no?
No.
Oh, I think you would like it.
I think so, too.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
I think I got to watch, I think it was maybe 30 Days of Night that came out around the same time.
30 Days of Nights, yes. You know what?
I think I got to see that one. But, like, I was really limited. I'm always really limited in time.
How come?
So if there's a movie thing coming out, I usually have to, like, pick what I want to go see.
30 Days of Nights was in 2007, so 3 years earlier.
Oh, wow. How did I, like, miss it?
Completely. I don't know, but you would like it. So that's all the casting news that I have for this week.
Now,
but
for, like, movies that are happening now. I'm like, oh, I missed my chance to go see that because I went and saw that. And they're like, oh, that was like 4 months before. I guess it just takes me a really long time to get out to go see a movie.
Yeah, well, you got kids and you own a store and you're always doing stuff.
It's true. Every single time I have free time, I fill it with a crazy project, like building an office or building a basement or moving my store or digging a hole.
Yes.
Burying bodies.
Oh. I won't ask.
No, it's fine. There are no bodies in the hole.
You know what you should do? You got that hole in your backyard, the trench that you dug for the water line.
Uh-huh.
You should get a skeleton from from a Halloween store. Throw it in there and then throw the dirt on top. So the next person who has to dig it up.
Actually, you know what's fun? When we were digging it up, there were bones in there.
Really?
Ribs.
Of?
Probably pig.
Okay.
Looks like pig.
Creepy, though.
Yeah. It could also be lamb, maybe. But...
Because that was the trash heap area.
Yeah, that was the trash heap area.
100 years ago.
Yeah.
Roughly.
Yep. Yeah, 100 years ago. 1922.
That's close.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when, Timmins was just over 100 years old, so that makes sense. Have you listened to any cool podcasts lately?
Have I listened to any cool podcasts?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Oh, you haven't?
No, I don't think I've listened to anything or watched anything.
Really? You've been that busy?
Yeah.
Well, let me suggest that there are a lot of podcasts here on the ESO network. So many to choose from. They're all geek related except for the Soulforge podcast.
Ah, yes.
Have you ever listened to that one?
I've listened to a few episodes of that one.
Ah.
Of the podcast listened to, I believe my sister Julie listens to the Soulforge.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Yes, it's all about life, the universe, and everything. And it's quite various in its topics.
Yeah, it's pretty popular.
Yeah, not as popular as I would like it to be, but it's okay.
What can you do? Everybody's got a podcast.
Everybody's got a podcast. A podcast is this generation's lower back tattoo.
Oh, no.
Mm-hmm.
It's your tramp stamp.
That's right. But speaking of podcasts, here's a promo for another podcast here on the ESO network.
Armed with a queer woman's perspective, the Terminus Doctor Who podcast brings you passionate geekery for the world of Doctor Who, covering both the new and classic series. Come check out the Terminus Doctor Who podcast at terminus.libsyn.com, or come look for us on iTunes or your other favorite podcatchers as part of the ESO network. The Terminus Doctor Who podcast. Queer, opinionated, Whovian, female.
Well, that sounds great. I can't wait to listen to that podcast,
Right?
John.
That-
Amazing.
The production quality on that little promo there, amazing.
Yeah. I am doing the all's correct symbol with the wink.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so we've got that all out of the way. We've got the casting news. We talked about one trailer. We have a couple more trailers to talk about.
We have more trailers?
Yeah.
Which trailers do we have?
Well, that's a good question. What trailers did we watch before we
What
started
about the
recording?
Terminator one?
Should we play that one next?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's the Red Band trailer. I'll just let our listeners know. And there are one or two swears in it.
Yeah, but that's okay. She's killing robots.
She is killing robots.
They're out to get the world. They're
So-
going to kill the world.
They are.
It's expected to cuss a couple times.
Mm-hmm. So this movie comes out in about 2 weeks. 2 weeks. And
already, eh?
Yeah, I think November 1st weekend. So this trailer here is kind of a mashup of all the different trailers, so it's kind of weird. And it keeps saying this film is not yet rated, but we know it's rated R.
Yeah, it's got to be.
It is.
There's a lot of cusses.
There's a lot of cusses. So
Is that a rocket launcher coming up?
it's something like that. I've never seen it before. But our listeners are now warned and informed that there are swears about to commence. So here's the trailer for Terminator Dark Fate.
Evening. Please lock your weapon. Expect a big ping, brother. The whole body's a weapon. Sorry.
When they start to kill me, run.
What the fuck is that? My name is Sarah Connor. I hunt Terminators.
He's the most lethal Terminator ever created.
I'm going to help you protect the girl.
So you're Carl?
That's what everyone calls me, yes.
I'm never gonna fucking call you Carl. If we don't win this one, it's all over.
And what'd you think about that?
I love Sarah Connor so much.
And she's not going to fucking call him Carl. And that made me laugh out loud.
Did
when she
it?
said that. So that trailer's weird. It's a mashup of like 4 or 5 different TV spots, but
there's too many, and a lot of it is the same scenes.
Yeah.
Which I'm kind of glad, like, we didn't just watch the whole movie.
Yes.
Out of sequence, because that would be awful.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no reason to mash up all of the trailers together. That's
Right?
stupid.
I don't know why they did that. I've never seen that done before.
Yeah.
But
By the time it got to the third one, I was irritated with the trailers.
yeah. So only like the first half of the trailer is new stuff.
Yeah.
And then it's all, here's a bunch of mashups.
Here's the same things again with ever so slightly more information.
Right.
Here's a tiny snippet from another small bit of trailer.
We haven't shown this 4 seconds before.
Yeah. What
So-
they should have done is just added that extra 4 seconds to the last trailer.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
But this film, I'm going to see it in the theater.
Are you?
I can't wait. I love The Terminator. It's one of my top 5 favorite film franchises.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So
Next to RoboCop.
Yeah, that's another one.
And
Star Trek.
yeah, Star Trek's one. And what's that other one? I cannot remember right now.
What happens?
It's got the robot. It's black and white. I think it had Leslie Nielsen before he was like...
Oh, that's Robbie the Robot from Forbidden Planet.
Forbidden Planet,
But
that's the one.
It's not black and white.
What?
It's in color.
Was it?
Yeah.
So it was just really faded.
Well, it's 1956.
Did I, like, see it in black and white somehow?
It's possible. Maybe you watched it on a black and white television when you were a kid.
Oh, that's totally possible.
Mm-hmm.
We spent about 3 years with only a black and white TV about as big as your head.
That would do it then. Yes. So yeah, if you haven't seen Forbidden Planet in a long time, I would recommend you watch it again.
It is a crazy show.
Yes.
That one's one of your favorites, isn't it?
Yeah, I own it twice.
You own it twice?
Yes.
Laserdisc and?
No, both on DVD.
They're both on DVD?
Yes, because I bought it when I found it in a store. I'm like, oh, I have to have this. And then they came out with the 50th anniversary edition.
So you bought it again?
I bought it again on DVD.
Why? Did it come with anything special?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It came in a metal tin box.
Okay.
And it came with other shows that he was in, Robbie the Robot. And it came with a little mini Robbie the Robot figure type
that's
thing.
Cool. I would do the same.
So I spent way too much money on this movie
That's okay.
for the amount of times that I don't watch it.
I have purchased Shaun of the Dead multiple times.
That's understandable.
So I used to work in a secondhand book and other crap shop.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that was there was used DVDs, many of which were very scratched.
Yes.
And they were $5 anyway.
Yeah.
So I found Shaun of the Dead there, and I was like, I love this movie. I'm going to get it. So I bought it.
Mm-hmm.
And then it came in again, and I was like, oh, Shaun of the Dead. I love this movie. So I bought it and brought it home. Went to go and put it on my shelf in the exact same spot for whatever reason.
Alphabetical?
Maybe. I think it was just happenstance. I think there's just a spot where I put new movies until I organize them later.
Okay.
So I went to go and put it there, and there was already a copy of Shaun of the Dead there.
Ah.
So I was like, oh crap, I bought it twice. And then I did it 2 more times.
Really? So you have 4 copies of Shaun of the Dead.
No, I gave 3 of them away.
Good idea.
Yeah, to people for Christmas. I was like, here you go, Shaun of the Dead.
Well, it's a good film.
It is a good film. I don't think it's like buy 4 times the exact same scratched movie.
No.
Yeah, I spent $20 and I could have bought a brand new
Copy
of
on
it.
Blu-ray even.
I probably could have, yeah.
Speaking of Shaun of the Dead, this past week I was listening to the Play on Nerds podcast.
Yes.
Which I also highly recommend, Stephen Jarman, and they were talking about the top 21 zombie films.
Oh yeah? Was that one of them?
That was number 2 on the list.
We're not using the Z word.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no wonder you bought it 4 times.
Yeah.
But back to Terminator Dark Fate. I love robots.
It's going to be good.
The effects look amazing. It's got Arnold. It's got Linda.
I love her. I love her so much.
She's a badass in
And
this.
she's basically the same.
Yeah.
She's the same to me.
Yeah.
I don't see her different. Her hair's shorter, that's all.
And she's 35 years older.
She still looks the same to me.
She's still got it.
It's like, yeah, she's awesome. Got the bomber glasses.
Yeah.
She's going to hit a guy. It's going to go great.
Yeah.
He's going to go down.
I've seen the action figures on pre-order.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yes. So
That's going to be a good movie.
I think so. It's produced by James Cameron.
Mm.
Not directed by, but produced by. So he had some heavy involvement. And I think, what was it, Tim Miller is directing? He did the Deadpools.
Okay.
So I think it's going to be great. It looks great.
Lots of good action.
Yeah.
Good explosions.
Always good explosions.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I like the way that the Terminator, like the big metal one, moves, if that makes sense.
Yeah. The locomotion is pretty amazing.
Yeah. A lot of things, as you were saying before, are CGI fest.
Yes.
And that one's definitely done with CGI.
Of course.
But it looks like it's actually heavy.
Well, the way James Cameron does his CGI, it's seamless.
Yeah.
Like even now, almost 30 years later, Terminator 2 still holds up pretty well.
Yeah.
So.
I like the way when they move that they feel like they have actual mass instead of just being a thing.
Oh, yeah, they don't look like they're just made out of water and floating.
Yeah, if that makes any sense.
It does.
Because then you might as well do like the Mary Poppins thing where you have like cartoon things running around with people.
Right. Yeah, no, this looks like it's an actual thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like it exists in the same space.
Yes.
Which is cool.
Indeed.
I like when that happens.
Me too. So I'm definitely going to see it.
Mm-hmm.
So we watched one more trailer, and it's not our typical fare, but it has Mr. Iron Man in it.
Yeah, RDJ.
Robert Downey Jr.
He's a good bear.
A good what?
A good boy.
A good boy?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
He's a good boy?
He's a good
Who's a good boy?
RDJ.
Yeah, he is.
He's a good boy.
All right. Here's the trailer for his upcoming film called Doolittle.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself,
Are you Dr. Doolittle?
We have no choice but to embark on this perilous journey.
Everyone pack your bags!
You can talk to animals.
babies cry, I watch them grow, they'll learn much more than I.
It's okay to be scared.
Know. And I think to myself,
Hello, Patty. Hello, lunch.
what a wonderful world.
Somehow, we just belong together.
Yes, I think to myself, oh, what a wonderful world.
It looks good. I'm always weirded out to hear him speak with a British accent.
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
He's done it before, though.
Yeah.
When he's
Sherlock? I've never seen those films.
No?
Are they any good?
Yeah, they are good. I really like him as Sherlock, actually.
Yeah?
I hear he's supposed to be going back as Sherlock.
For a third one?
Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, I guess maybe it's just because when he's being Sherlock, his attitude and Iron Man's attitude are really similar. Like they're both kind of full of themselves. They're both really smart and can't be bothered to listen to whatever we have to say.
Yes.
So I guess maybe that makes it believable, even though his accent is completely different from how he usually speaks.
Right.
But when he's being Dr. Doolittle, he's being very kind and very sweet and British, and I guess just that throws me off after seeing him as Iron Man.
Yeah, it's kind of a change.
Because like I can transition from watching him as Sherlock to Iron Man and back to Sherlock, but going from Sherlock to Iron Man to Doolittle is weird.
Yeah. Now, who played Doolittle originally? Was it Jerry Lewis?
No, it was
Was it not back in the 50s?
Oh, you mean the old?
Yeah, I don't mean the Eddie Murphy one.
Oh, okay. Yeah. The one that I thought of originally was the Eddie Murphy one, because that was the movie. It could be Jerry Lewis. He's very comical. This one seems less about, like, hilarity, though, and more about, like, just kindness.
Okay. Well, I'm looking it up here.
Because there wasn't a lot of, like, funny moments in the trailer.
Oh, you know what? It was 1967, and it was Rex Harrison.
Ah.
I don't know why I was thinking Jerry Lewis.
Because he has a weird voice, and you're probably thinking of Eddie Murphy for some reason.
You know what? That's entirely possible. But
They both have, like, the weird voice thing. where it'll fluctuate from low to high and high to low.
Yes, that is true.
And they run around and they put their arms up in the air for no real reason all the time.
The Nutty Professor. That was Jerry Lewis. That's what I'm thinking.
Ah!
Because didn't
And
Eddie Murphy do both?
He also played Nutty Professor, yeah.
Eddie Murphy.
That's probably
So
what it
I'm
is.
confusing Eddie Murphy for Jerry Lewis.
That's probably what it is.
And mixing it
They have
all
a lot
up.
of similar mannerisms.
Yeah. Yeah, they do.
At least in those movies, but that could just be because of the people that they're playing are similar, and they're both good actors.
That's possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Sometimes it's hard to tell. Actors are weird people.
They are. They're not like you and me.
No. They have too many abilities. They're like chameleons, but with like mannerisms and ways of speaking, and
Yeah.
it's pretty cool.
It is.
I bet you an actor would make a really good spy.
Probably. I don't know. Doolittle with RDJ. CGI, of course, because all
It's a
these
lot of CGI.
talking animals and whatnot.
And they obviously have to do it that way.
Yeah, and it's a period piece. But it doesn't look dark and gritty like a normal period piece. You know when you watch something and, oh, this takes place in the 1930s, so
and
we have
everything
to...
is sepia for whatever
Oh,
reason.
I hate that.
Even though it's a macaw.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be sepia because they're super bright.
Right.
They're like made out of a box of crayons.
So this film here doesn't do that.
No.
It doesn't give you... Like the trailer we watched a couple weeks ago for War of the Worlds TV series, it's all sepia and dark and broody, and I don't
It is War
like...
of the Worlds, though. Like...
I get it. I understand. But why can't it be like a Marvel movie where you can actually see what's going on?
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm okay with it having, like, the feeling of it being dark.
Yes. But
I don't want it to actually be dark.
That's my problem.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, you can do a dark movie without it actually being too dark to see.
I agree.
I hate paying for things in the theater
Mhm.
because also now that we have the luxury seats, I'm not going back to the regular seats.
It's hard to do so.
I have bad circulation issues and I can't feel my legs if I sit in the regular chairs.
That I get it.
So
So,
I
like-
don't want to pay a bunch of money
No.
to look at a dark screen.
Like the Turning trailer that we watched at the beginning of this podcast.
Yeah, I couldn't see what was going on.
No, it was so dark. Like,
But
ugh.
we're also facing a window.
Well, that's true. It is bright in here.
Yeah.
And it is pretty dark in the
I feel like
phone.
if you were in a theater, you'd probably be able to see it. And a lot of it seemed to have a lot of contrast. Because, like, when she's looking in the dark room, the only thing that you can see is the thing lit up by the flashlight.
That's true.
And then when the kid is suddenly there, with the stark white of his, super pale face.
Right.
Like, he's right there. And I think that would give you, like, a jump scare, even though he's not a ghost, he's not a monster, he's just a kid.
Yeah.
Being creepy, hanging out in the dark all alone, which children do sometimes.
I know. I was a kid. I remember.
It's strange.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I think that one could be good, even though that one's dark, but I think it's just because it relies on you not being able to see
Yes.
to give you that jump scare feel.
I think you might be right.
But for just a general period piece movie, like I
Mhm.
don't want to go watch a war movie and just hear it.
No, like if...
I don't want to go watch Batman
Yeah.
and have it just be a black screen.
No, that's no fun. Like
Like I kind of got it with. I bring up the thing with Riddick and the Chronicles
Mhm.
of Riddick all the time
Yes.
because like you can't see most of that movie.
Right.
But Josh is like, that's how it's supposed to be, and
Yeah.
it is how it's supposed to be.
But like when...
I think it's just because I was expecting more action, less scare.
But Saving Private Ryan, that was a period piece, but it was well lit and you
It
could see.
was well lit. Oh, that was a really good movie.
Yes. So, see, that's the kind of thing that I'm talking about. Like, do a period piece, but let me see what's going on.
Uh-huh.
But Doolittle here...
Also,
but-
Wonder Woman.
Yes.
Wonder Woman was a period piece.
Yes.
It was well lit. It was still dark. Like a lot of awful things were happening.
True.
But it was that's a great movie.
I should watch that again soon.
It's so good.
Yeah.
That's a good movie.
The CGI in Doolittle, though? It's
That
a-
one, they
it's-
don't feel
it's
heavy.
But it's hyper real. Like, it's too much. Like, you see the
Oh,
bird...
you think it's hyper real?
Like, too colorful. Like, too much. Like, it's too fake. Like,
Well, like a lot of the creatures that he has there,
they don't...
because like a peacock is a bright creature, a macaw is a bright creature.
But it looks too much so.
I don't think that's my complaint.
Okay.
Remember how I was talking about how the Terminator, when it moves, it feels like it lives in the same space as them, and
Yes.
it has weight. It casts right shadows. When its feet hit the ground, it looks like you would be able to feel the thing moving.
Yes. It's part of the film itself. It's
Yeah.
not extra.
When the gorilla's moving around, I want to feel like it's
Like, you could pull it off the
when
screen
it
with your
hits,
hand.
When it hits the floor of the ship, I want it to make a creak or
Yeah.
something. it's like they're floating. It's like they're cartoons. They're very well drawn ones.
Yes.
But it's like they're just floating on the screen. They don't have the same mass and weight, which is fine. I'm sure eventually everybody will get there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not super important to the story.
No,
it just kind of takes you out of it a little
bit.
bit.
A little bit.
Yeah.
So is this something you would see at the theater? Would you take the kiddos?
I'd probably take the kids to watch it. Well, I'd take Damien.
Oh, yeah.
It looks like it is going to be one of those movies that pulls at the heartstrings.
Yeah.
And it definitely has moments of chaos and anxiety in the trailer.
Okay.
And that is something Mina won't sit through.
Ah, right.
So, yeah. I can't have it reach a certain level of, are they going to get out of this?
Right.
Especially when I haven't seen the movie to the end yet and I can't reassure her.
Exactly.
Because the only time she'll sit through something like that is if I say, it's okay, I've seen how it ends, it's fine, everything is going to be fine.
Yes.
Because then she'll just sit all pent up until the end of the movie, and then she's like, oh, it was a good movie. And then she'll rewatch it later because she knows everything will be fine. But she doesn't like to reach that level of anxiety with uncertainty of knowing what's going to happen. So.
No, that's traumatizing. It can be. Okay, so of the 3 films, I am going to go see Terminator in the theater.
Okay.
100%. The other 2, probably not.
I don't know if I'll... like, my track record was seeing things in theaters.
Time permitting.
I'd like to see Terminator.
Mm-hmm.
I really like horror movies anywhere. So I get why Josh likes to see horror movies at home, but I like being in a theater for them because of the loud booms that happen.
The surround sound is amazing.
Because it is difficult to frighten me. Mm-hmm. I'm desensitized somehow.
You are.
And I think the only way to get me to jump scare sometime is with a deep bass that you can feel in your chest.
Yes.
Because you know how when you're normally frightened, it makes your heart pound and kind of gives you the same feeling?
Yep.
If it's a deep enough baritone bass that's going, like that weird droning noise that they have going that's almost kind of like music, but they play it in like every movie that's remotely quote-unquote scary.
Right.
When they play that in a theater, if it's done at the right time, it almost mimics an anxiety for me and gives me that sense of, I should be scared now because my body's reacting this way.
Of course.
Except it's not my heart beating, it's just the bass rumbling in my chest.
It's the experience.
Yeah, but I kind of like that because I don't get it on my own. My heart doesn't increase at all. I just kind of sit and wait until the thing happens, and usually it's a little underwhelming. So I like when the bass is up really high because then it brings me closer to actually being afraid at the movie, which is my reason for going there in the first place. I like being scared.
Well, yeah.
But it's hard to scare me.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So that's it for trailers.
Ah.
I did finally finish last night watching season 3 of Jessica Jones.
Did you like it?
You know what? I did. I watched the last 4 episodes all at once.
Yeah.
Which is pretty amazing for me because I found Jessica Jones to be the hardest of the Marvel series to get through.
I didn't get into it either. I even skipped most of the first season. The only time I started watching is when I noticed David Tennant was on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
Because I tried watching in the beginning and I was like, no, this just isn't my thing.
Yeah.
I know it's like a noir detective novel thing, and that's kind of cool. Sometimes I like those shows, but this one didn't grab me.
Yeah. So it took me a long time to finish it. But the last few episodes were really good. Like, it finished off on a great note. Did you finish watching?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't my favorite, though.
No, I would love to have another season of Luke Cage and Daredevil and Punisher.
Yes. Okay, so part of my thing, I think it's just when those shows came out. The world's not a super happy-go-lucky place right now.
No.
And I just miss when TV doesn't really just mimic all the darkness that's going on all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, for example, when the Purple Man was on screen with Jessica Jones, I kept wanting it to take this weird turn. Because do you remember how he was like, we should be partners?
Yeah.
And I was like, I want this to happen. I wanted them to be partners where for some reason they would team up and become this, like, kind of zany team. Because it started off so dark and so slow and so normal and set in reality. I wanted it to take this odd turn where they become this zany duo that fights crime, even though one of them is a serial murderer.
Right.
And if she's not around, he'll probably do it again.
That could have been a fun show.
It would have been, that would be funny, right?
Yes.
But, like, not in the way that is normal, not like, haha funny.
Yeah.
Not like a normal comedy.
Kind of twisted.
It would be like an odd, this shouldn't be happening and that's why it's funny comedy.
And I can't stop watching.
Yeah, because it'd be like, oh, I murdered them again, and she'd be like, oh, you weasel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And throw them into a wall because they're horribly abusive to each other. But, like, you know, it's not like he didn't deserve it. He's a horrible person.
So, yeah, that's true.
And
so,
then the way that Iron Fist ended,
Mhm.
that's exactly the twist I wanted it to take. Right at the very, very end,
Yeah.
with Ward and Danny
Yeah.
together,
Oh, yes.
with the gunslinging action.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
So
that was gold.
That was gold. Okay.
That's what I wanted it to be.
So you need to be the Queen of Hollywood. And
And just be in charge of stuff
and
and
have
make
these
crazy,
things.
zany things where people would just be like, this is insane. I can't stop watching this insane crap.
Well, I was thinking about that the other day, actually, when I was trying to think of different topics for podcasting and stuff. And I was thinking, you know what? I'd like to go back in time and fix up the way Hollywood did some films. Like with the Die Hard series.
Okay.
The first two came out, and they were both Christmas movies.
Yes.
And John McClane was just in some messed up situations.
Yes.
And then the rest didn't follow that pattern. So I think they should have done like 10 films every 2 years, always at Christmas, where he just happens to be in some kind of messed up situation.
What if they did a Thanksgiving special?
That would have been okay too. But you know what I mean? Like he's just, oh, how did I get in this situation again?
That would be funny.
And then I was thinking, let's do Con Air. Because David Harbour wants to remake Con Air.
Okay.
But they should have done 10 sequels with Nick Cage every 2 years. So the first time he was a prisoner, he was a parolee hitching a ride home. And he happened to be on this plane that got taken over. Okay, so 2 years later, he's living happily with his wife, and he has to go somewhere on a plane. And it gets taken over by terrorists. And he has to do whatever.
He just has terrible luck?
Yes.
So you want to have just a tragic series of heroes being caught in unfortunate, similar situations year in, year out?
Yes,
where they just wind up hating Christmas because every freaking year this happens to
Yeah,
them?
so we'd have like 10 different Con Air films in the franchise, you know, and he just happens to be on a plane every single time, and he has to like just keep doing the same thing.
It'd be kind of like Treehouse of Horror.
Yeah, right, exactly.
But just like similar but
Different.
things would happen every year.
Yep.
Same time.
I think that would be great.
That would be kind of great. I would watch that.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be awful and funny.
So, just an idea.
Yeah. Like, do you remember how everybody was whining about the last Star Wars movie that came out, The Last Jedi?
Yes.
I had, like, thought out a completely different movie from a certain point. I don't have time to explain it.
No, because we're going to wrap up the show.
But yeah, but I explained it to a couple other people, and they're like, oh, okay, that would have been a good movie.
You know what? I really liked The Last Jedi.
Did you?
Because Rian Johnson, he subverted our expectations.
Yeah.
And most people didn't like that.
Well, it's just, I didn't really mind it. I find, though, that certain parts of the movie almost, like, didn't need to be there.
Oh, that's true.
It's not like taking them out would have made the movie better, because then it would have been boring.
Yeah.
But I'd like if certain parts of the movie, like, had an impact on the outcome.
More so, yeah.
Because, like, when they went to that planet, the rich people planet...
The casino.
It didn't really have an impact on, like, what actually happened in the movie.
Well, they needed to get the Codebreaker guy.
Did they?
Well, apparently. Not that it all worked out, but...
I don't know.
I don't know either. But speaking of Star Wars,
yeah.
Did you know that tomorrow night, after Monday Night Football, or during Monday Night Football, they're playing the trailer for The Rise of Skywalker?
No, I didn't know.
Yes, yeah, it's the full trailer or something, and it's finally coming out. So we'll be talking about that probably next week.
That's pretty cool.
Unless we don't do a podcast next week, because Friday night is Night Terror Film Festival. Saturday night is the Northern Ontario Expo Halloween party dance.
Oh, yeah.
So, and there's a kids' Halloween party during the day. So I don't know if I'm going to have to...
It's a dance, too.
A dance, too, yes.
Children love dances.
Yeah, they do. They do. So I don't know what I'm going to have to do for setup.
They almost, like, love it more than adult people. I don't understand why more adults, teens and adults, have all these dances and kids never do.
Right. So that's what's going on. I don't know if we'll have a podcast next week. We'll probably be able to. But just
Maybe
in
we
case
should take snippets.
Yeah?
Like, talk to the people at the dance, ask them if
Oh,
they're having a good time.
That's too much work, and nobody wants to hear that on the podcast. Nobody cares. But it's an idea, so maybe we'll think about that.
Okay.
Okay. So that
You could just save it for next year, though.
That's true too.
Yeah.
Yes. So that has been an excellent episode of Rusted Robot Podcast. I know I had a few other things to talk about, but we'll save that for next time.
I think.
Yeah, I think we
Not
did.
too shabby-doo.
Not too shabby. We did a good job. So once again, we'll just remind our listeners to keep coming by the Rusted Robot headquarters. Check it out. Subscribe everywhere. Check out the YouTube channel. Look up my name,
Sean Vanderloo,
and subscribe. Listen to the shows online while you're doing something else in the background.
Yeah.
Check out Soulforge Podcast. Check out Jump City Comic Books here in Timmins.
And the ESO Network.
I was just about to get to that, but
You're welcome.
You did a good job
I
right
know,
there.
I always do.
Yep. So thanks again for coming by and sharing the links and telling all your friends about Rusty Robot. And remember, sometimes self-care means bulk ordering googly eyes with intent to vandalize. You have been listening to the Rusted Robot Podcast. To contact the show, email therustedrobot@gmail.com or tweet us at therustedrobot. Join the Facebook page and group and visit the website at therustedrobot.podbean.com. The Rusted Robot Podcast was put together by Sean and Josh and the Rusty crew. Please remember to check out our other show, the Soulforge Podcast. Visit Jump City Comics in the 101 Mall and leave a glowing review in your chosen podcast app. Thank you and have a geeky day.
The Rusted Robot Podcast. Think about it.
This has been a broadcast of the ESO Network. Be part of the crew and help support our shows by donating to our ESO Patreon or by shopping through Amazon.com or the TeePublic store, which can all be found at www.esonetwork.com. The ESO Network, your station for all things geek.